DU. This is, you can talk about a college right next door to where we're at, basically.
Right.
And lacrosse was here. It was always present, but now all of a sudden it's on the national scale.
Yeah.
And I mean, you truly see it.
Final Four the last couple of years.
Yes. And so you change out your coaching.
Right.
And what happens?
He brought in a culture of winning. He knew what it took.
Absolutely.
He knew what it took because he had, like I said, he'd won back east.
Now I'm going to ask you, how much pressure should a high school coach have on them to win?
Depends.
What
the expectation is. If
high school,
if I'm coaching baseball at
Wiggins
High School,
let's don't put a sport. Let's just put in general. So we'll just say
you have to learn how to play the right way.
Absolutely.
You have to learn what it takes to be successful. As we always talk about, pulling the same direction.
Right.
Giving of yourself for the betterment of the club or the team or the whatever.
Absolutely.
You have to give of yourself you have to sacrifice your own self to be to get the goals of the team out there, right?
Right.
Okay, so you and I are on the same page with that, which is great. But ultimately, you have to make quality decisions. Students have to be students first.
Absolutely.
You can't have hooligans running the show and being a part of that.
Now, I'm going to ask you a question, though.
Yeah.
How long do you wait?
Depends.
Because even though if you're teaching all of this also,
right.
You're still in high school and you're about the goal is to try and win a state championship. It is to win now.
Right.
You know, we kind of move past that. So
sure.
where do you draw that line?
I would say
as an AD and all that.
If you didn't see progress that was palpable or something that you could see that look, the kids are getting better. Look, really what it is to me is do you get buy-in from the ground up? Do you get it from the feeder programs?
Absolutely.
If I'm coaching and I have a way of doing business, we're going to run the spread offense as an offense in high school, and we're playing smash mouth or we're playing option football at the feeder levels. I don't have players who have any idea or have a clue how to block it, how to tackle it, how to scheme it.
Right.
So ultimately, I got to get buy-in from the youth organizations.
Yeah.
So if I got 3 or 4 years to implement my proverbial quote unquote, and I'm using air quotes, I hate that, but system. This is what we're going to do. I do. I'm a hater. But if you're going to do this quote unquote the right way or what have you,
absolutely,
then you have to get buy-in. Now, if I don't have buy-in and I don't have support, I have to be at least communicating with my athletic director to understand that look, this is an opportunity for us to create something different. And where we've been is not exactly where we're going. Or pardon me, where we're going is not exactly where we've been. So we need buy-in. I need time. I need time. So I'd say 4 or 5 years, really.
Yeah, well, you know what? Let's do this. We're getting ready to touch in on a great subject out here with, what's going on. You hear what we're talking about already. I want to see if we can get a call in right now. Jeff, what's the number here? I don't ever know the number.
I forgot it. It's 720-873-8074 or something like that.
No.
Well, tell me what the number is then, Dad.
I just want you to.
It is 720-437-7087.
Call in. Let's talk about that right now. I want to take a few calls here while we're what we're talking about with coaches and how do you hold coaches accountable in high school? Should you even? And then let's get ready to get into this major topic with Northwestern University. They're changing the game for high schools and preps. It's good for high schoolers to see this because it's going to be a new game here in about 4 years. The recruiting you've already seen with Oregon, they truly built a program behind uniforms. They utilize what motivates the youth right now to intrigue them to their school.
Airtime on TV.
Absolutely. But
and the cool unis.
Absolutely. Yeah. You take that and now you see Northwestern taking it as a private university and saying, hey, what we're going to do is unionize ourselves and we're going to come meet and try and pay our athletes to play or just pay them to be here.
Well, also what that is entailing is about if they're going to be unionized or, like you said, the National Labor Relations Board passed it. The deal is they, meaning Northwestern University, has an opportunity to regulate insurance benefits for these guys after they're done playing ball. They now, just so you know, when I got hurt at Murray State when I played, if I got hurt, they sent me to a doctor. They paid for the bill. If I would have had to have surgery or if I would have had to have whatever, they paid for that because That's just that was part of the scholarship deal that we had, for whatever reason. Now, in football, we're talking about an opportunity to remediate or give not remediate. We're looking forward to getting medical attention to people when they are done with their athletic careers.
Right.
So it's a long process for these guys to go through knee injuries, hip injuries, back injuries, shoulder injuries, and as we were well aware, the concussion issues with the brain and brain injuries. So the problems are long-standing, even after they've given up their time at Northwestern in their proverbial sport or athletic endeavor. So they get to choose with this. That's why I'm telling you this is you and I have talked about it briefly. It's a Pandora's box.
Absolutely.
It is a really
I'm going to tell you my opinion
issue
on this, and I'm going to tell you where I stand. I truly believe that it's actually a great thing.
You're sitting in front of me, and you're not standing.
I'm sitting down, and Jeff needs to know. I stand on this because I think one thing people underestimate about college athletes, and it's like, well, look, here's what you always hear to say. They're paying for your school.
Right.
You get a free education.
Yes.
You get to go travel and do
free.
this.
It's not free. You're giving your body. You're giving your time.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You don't get to write your own schedules. Just to let people know that one thing that happens is you will have to do what the program requires of you,
or you'll lose your scholarship.
Whatever season whatever sport you are, in season. You're on their schedule. Guess what? Out of season, you're on their schedule.
They got you for 4 years.
They have you for 4 or 5 years. Yeah. So with that, guess what takes place? As a college student, everybody realizes when you were there at college at some point in time, you got hungry. You just wanted to do different things. Sometimes
want to do laundry.
Pizza. Hey, you just want to go hang out, be a kid, and where's that money come from? Then here, parents have to kick in again, right? But now you talk about kid wanting to be able to work. Now they see other kids that are friends that they can go work jobs. We can as an athlete. I have to stick to this schedule. They don't care. But on top of that, they can't give us any extra money. And what's taking place? They're making billions of dollars. They're making billions of dollars on these athletes that, are able generate income for the school.
Yes.
So
the interest, especially now, is at an all-time high. Just because, and especially with Final Four going on today, it's a very big issue.
Jeff, you brought up an interesting.
I'm not on your side on that.
But you brought up an interesting topic earlier that you said to yourself, you were like, I don't agree, but then you said, what about the lower sports?
Yeah, what about the athletic endeavors that are non-revenue producers, like lacrosse, like baseball,
and not even lacrosse.
Swimming.
What about field hockey, stuff like that?
Okay,
because lacrosse is pretty. But my thing is if you took all the athletes out of that college, you're probably talking about maybe 10% of the college student body. Maybe let's even give it bigger. Let's say 20%. I'm just going to 20%. Mm-hmm. But then you talk about how much revenue together they generate, whether or not we sit at a company, you and I. Mm-hmm. Okay, I'll use Josh in this equation, right? Josh is the engineer here. Thanks, Josh. He does a great job behind the scenes.
Thanks for making us sound decent.
Now,
one of us sounds good.
Here it is. We all work at City Prep Radio.
All right.
You sit there in that seat, you make $12 an hour.
Right.
I sit here, I make $16. Josh makes $20.
Right.
We all do the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
We can't complain about, this person makes more than me. That's life.
Yeah,
that's what life you're going to have to be.
So Josh is white, so he should make the most money.
So then why are you making the least amount?
Oh, because I'm dumb.
So there it is. That on Jeff's perspective.
Yeah,
but do you understand what I'm saying? Because people always try and make that gripe. Well, football players, put them all together and look at what they generate.
Right,
it's a great thing.
Yeah.
It's nothing wrong with that. But I think it's a great thing to help, because now when you talk about wanting to keep kids in college longer, you want them to get their degrees, right?
Right.
Why are they leaving? The ones that can leave.
Because they want to get paid.
They want to get paid. You know what they're seeing when they're in college? Everybody around them is getting paid.
Right.
When you're in high school and you're making these transitions, the first peer time of love that you have is that senior year leaving and that freshman time. When you're a freshman, at that point in time, then you start realizing how much of a business. And some realize that at their senior year in high school, how much of a business is. As soon as you walk into that college, that coach is not the same anymore.
Well, let's say this. Let's say that I'm a high school baseball player, and I get drafted out of high school.
Right.
And I decide, and I'll use Kevin Gosman as an example. The kid that pitched at Grandview.
Okay.
Threw 97 miles an hour in high school, got drafted.
He sounds like Jason Peterson out of Denver East.
Peterson was same. Let's use him. Let's use Peterson.
Went to the Cubs.
Yeah, and he was out of baseball in 3 years.
Yeah.
So he took the money, did whatever he needed to do, and was out of baseball. But the point is that as a kid,
right,
a business decision to go to college, he could have bought a college with the money he got. He could have. That's what your goal is, to go to college, is to get a degree.
Absolutely.
To gain financial wherewithal and to further your education so you can get a great job.
Right.
Well, the point is you're a professional athlete at that point, whether it be a one and done for a basketball kid, whether it be a high school kid drafted in baseball.
Right.
Those opportunities aren't for everybody. They don't.
True.
But so the guys who go ahead, go. The guys who can't, I don't think they should be paid. I do not. They can let them go if the guys are good enough. If their ability is good enough to get them paid, then fine, go get paid. You're a pro at that point.
So what my thing though, what you're saying though, for kids to understand this is what I'm gonna say. What Northwestern is doing is going to allow them to be a big time recruit. They're going to be able to recruit kids.
And I disagree with you.
Why?
Because other coaches, and I'm just talking about in football. Okay, other coaches are going to use that against their coaching staff and against the university. Now, conversely,
how?
Hold on.
No, I'm just asking.
I'm going to tell you.
When?
Conversely, in a minute.
Now.
Conversely, Northwestern is going to say, look, we are here to recruit you as a whole person. We are interested in your whole life. Okay? We are interested in your life now and down the road. And Northwestern has a great reputation, obviously, as a academic institution that is beyond reproach. I mean, it is a great school. But other schools are going to use that against Northwestern in this way. Why would you want to go be a part of a group of people that make decisions for you and you don't get the input? Or they don't give you an opportunity to single out yourself and say, look, I want to transfer. Does that at that point you become not a part of the union? Do you become? I mean, there's so many unanswered questions.
But there's always going to be those little things. And yes, you can transfer out. You're out of the union because if you're not in a school that is privatized, then of course you're out of or whatever.
Right. But what
works.
is the time frame served if you have union benefits for that particular?
Okay,
school?
Let me ask you.
You don't know. That's the point.
When you were in college, wouldn't you love to be able to consider it as an employee somehow because you are generating income, you are generating money, correct? Wouldn't you want a piece of that?
Not in my yes, I would.
I'm just saying, even
not in my particular sport.
But even
yes, of course, I would be lying. I would be disingenuous. I would be disingenuous to say that I wouldn't want the money. And even if it's
just a piece, wouldn't you appreciate that? Just because it'll help you do laundry.
Again,
and we know you had dirty laundry at school. They said it. Your buddies have said it.
The point being is, Dakari, is that where do you draw the delineation point between a revenue sport, the guy who's the quarterback and the homecoming king? I'm just saying.
No, but
you can't differentiate.
But you can't draw the line and say this sport.
You have to.
You have to put all the athletes in one.
You can't do that because now that you've unionized, each kid is going to want theirs. That's the problem with the selfish nature of kids.
But the thing of it, in the union, you still get to set their pay. You're acting like they have to get a certain amount. They don't. They can set their regulations for what they want to pay you. Just like you go work at a King Soopers.
Right.
They have a union, but I guarantee you they set the pay of their cashiers, their people that pick up buggies. They're not making the same as the store manager.
With negotiations with the union.
Understand that process is going to grow. What I said
there's only 17 schools that are going to have this ability.
But as a kid going to college, you have a new element in there now to where it says, okay, look, we're going to order great uniforms and we're going to do what? We can pay you. You'll be able to make $20,000 a year, just extra. We don't know, $15,000. Heck, $15,000 a year for a kid.
They think they're rich. Yeah.
Absolutely. And you're already living. You get this little extra money. You know you have little extra money to do stuff with. It makes college a little funner.
I don't disagree with the premise that they need to be paid something.
Okay.
But again, you have opened up Pandora's box. And this is just like...
Why are you going to say I did?
Because you did it. Because you're the one that brought it up in the discussion. Obviously, the National Relations Board and the quarterback, I can't think of his name, from Northwestern, that had that filed suit or what have you. They wanted to make that. They wanted to make that happen. I get that. But the point is
I think the quarterback kid is from here also.
Corey.
Or was he an alumni?
I can't remember.
We'll pull it up. We'll have Jeff pull that up.